Hi guys, it's Sunday the 20th of October, Sunday morning. I've just got back from having a really good walk around Mount Lofty in Warrandyte State Park, which is absolutely gorgeous if you're out in Melbourne's eastern suburbs. I strongly recommend it. Look, it's been an amazing week. I felt really good. Um, you know, I had a couple of challenges, which I'll talk about in a sec, and I'm really proud of myself, how I've dealt with it. And to be honest, I think it's the IM50 goal, when things could go pear-shaped, say, well, okay, well, I'm trying to achieve this thing and, it's going to really knock me around. So starting with, the diet and the weight loss side, great week. Weighed myself this morning, 132.4 kilos. So that's 2.1 kilos lighter than the same time last week. Which has put me, ahead of where I need to be. So I'm 2 point something kilos ahead of schedule on that one. And look, to be honest, I think I'll need to get ahead. Another good week here will see me ahead, I hope, because I'm travelling overseas to Hong Kong and China for a week for business. And, those trips, there's a fair bit of socialising, lunch, where, it's a bit harder to control what I'm doing. But this week, I ate well. I had a social function last Sunday where there was a lot of crap and I got my own eating out of it whack. So I got into some, cake and some biscuits and some chips. And what was really, really good was, once we went home, often in the past, okay, kids, let's get some takeout, or the plan for dinner that night was homemade pizza for the kids, and I'd done some food prep, so I had something else to eat. I would have eaten pizza with the kids, but no, I just got straight back on it, and that's abnormal behaviour for me, because normally I'd consume thousands of calories and set myself back for a couple of days. And then midweek, I got really hungry at work. And headed over to the servo and grabbed a protein bar and a container of nuts, which are obviously very calorie dense. Solved to being hungry. I was stuck at work, had a heap of work to do, so I didn't get out of the office until maybe 8:30. But rather than grabbing some KFC or Macca's on the way home, I got home, said, oh, well, I'm still full from having those nuts, so I just had a light snack before I went to bed, and so, didn't really do any damage. And again, that's not usual behaviour for me. Normally, I'll blow out, and then I'll say, oh, fuck it, I've stuffed it. So what does it matter what I eat tonight? I'll start again tomorrow, or I'll start again on Monday. I can have an eating episode that lasts for 48 hours and I'll put on 3-4 kilos. That's just my body wanting to put back what it's lost. So I think the moral of that for me is, it doesn't have to be perfect. I had a couple of little wobbles and I still lost over 2 kilos in the week. I've just got to hold on to that. Just because I have a bad meal or, I have a beer, if I'm out for lunch through work or something like that, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You can just knuckle down and minimise the damage, and the rest of what you're doing that's good is still going to be of benefit. The other, exciting but very painful thing that I did this week is I decided, I'm really committed to getting my body into a state where I can train well, race well, without doing, damage to myself. So, I call that pre-hab. Like I'm almost planning ahead for any injuries. So, I got some mobility issues through my hips and adductors and glutes, that I've been aware of. I struggled, like when I ran the marathon even 20 years ago, or 18 years ago, whenever it was. That's what packed it in. 35k into the race, my glutes just seized up. There's something going on in there, and also some real flexibility imbalances, left side, right side. So I started working out in the gym, doing some single-legged exercises, trying to sort that stuff out. But I decided I'm going to regularly see a physical therapist, like a masseuse. So I went and had my first session on Friday after work with Alison Pittman from Resonate Wellbeing out in Ringwood North, and she's fantastic. I've known Alison for a while. We used to do CrossFit a bit together, she knows her stuff. Prepared to be brutal. So my tolerance for pain's quite high, so we got a fair bit done. And I think, I expressed what I'm trying to do, and she's on board, and I plan for her to be on board for the long haul. So did a bit of diagnostic stuff, did a bit of muscle work, and she's prescribed me some exercises and stretches and the like, to start dealing with that. And so I'm hopeful that by the time I really start training, I've really strengthened and fixed those problems, which will mean that I get injured less, and I'll probably run faster and bike faster. Is the short story, and get injured less, all of which helps. And I feel much better. I'm nearly 4 kilos lighter than I was a couple of weeks ago, and I'm starting to notice it. Just getting up the stairs, walking, from my office across, to the other side of the building. I just got some bounce in my step. Certainly much more energetic. I'm getting up better in the morning. The walk I did this morning, it's a quite hilly 5K. I did it 2 weeks ago and did it in, just about 1:03, tick under. And this morning I did it in 59:11. So no difference, exactly the same walk, exactly the same conditions, 3 minutes 40 faster. So, I'll be interested, I like setting little benchmark workouts like that. Just so I can see the progression. That's why they're my worst enemy, but I like hopping on the scales every week. Have I progressed? What have I done? So that's one that I'll probably do a couple more times before I probably max it out without running, because I think I'm probably only 4 or 6 weeks away from being able to walk as fast as I can around that without slowing down for the big uphill, actually going up Mount Lofty. After that, I'll probably choose another benchmark, maybe the 1,000 steps in Trentry Gully or something like that. I like the idea of walking up hills and up steps at 130 kilos. I can really get the heart maxed out doing that. So it's good exercise, good strengthening in the legs, and as I said, it's all in preparation for when I start running. And in all honesty, I'm adamant I don't want to run at all until I'm under 100 kilos. I just think at my age that's just going to be disaster for the joints. So based on my projections for weight loss, which if I keep going like I am, will probably be pessimistic. We're talking about a year before I can start to run. November, sort of, end of November, start of December next year. But if I keep losing 2 kilos a week, it'll be it'll be middle of next year. So look, big week, super excited, feeling great, and just keen to keep getting after it. It's been awesome. Cheers, guys.